What's up, people? Welcome to another edition of the New Breed Podcast, the world's best music podcast, talking about everything brutal, new death, hard, grind, slam, thrash, core, and metal. I'm one half of your host, Jay Horskow. With me, I have my partner in crime, the notorious TIM, Tim Anderson Jr. Tim, how's it going?
Great.
Fantastic. Great. Wearing an Orthodox hoodie, I see. Tim loves to pester bands for hoodies, so if you're listening and you're a band and you have a hoodie, please send one to Tim. And joining us this week,
not for free. I pay though.
we'll send it to you. We'll PayPal you. We'll Venmo, Zelly, whatever.
Yeah, don't think I'm asking for free shit.
That's the way.
No free merch. No free merch. All right. And joining us this week from South Carolina, we have from the band Redefind, Jordan Caparel. Jordan, thank you so much for joining.
Hey, my pleasure to be here, man. I love this kind of stuff. I talk way too much.
We are.
Yeah. We do too, so we enjoy it.
So before we go into your band and your catalog and all that, we were obviously chatting a little bit for our listeners before we started. And Jordan, you started talking about when you guys opened for Head PE and you got noticed for being punctual, being responsible. Yes. Can we talk a little bit about that? Because we do have a lot of listeners that are in bands and younger bands. They're trying to get a tour up. They're trying to go out and do this. Is that a pointer that you would give to them to say, hey, be on the clock?
100%. Even. No matter how far you got to go, like you got to look at it as you're on the job. Like it is work. Yeah, it's fun, but it's like this like I was telling y'all, it's our dream to do this. So like we want to make a good impression. We want everyone to have a good, like when say another band questions those guys, hey, are these dudes worth a shit, anything? And it's like, yeah, man, they were on time. They didn't have any problems with like setup and breakdown. They were. That's what you want. That's a main thing. But a lot of people, when they're looking outside looking in, don't get me wrong, this is one of the most selfish jobs out there because it's all about what you want to do. I leave my wife and kid for 2 weeks at a time, and she has to man the fort. She has to hold it down while I'm gone. And but like I was saying, it's work. It is definitely work because like there's 30-minute sets that we usually get. Yeah, that's a phenomenal time, but like when you're on the road, it's like 24 hours. You're on the clock. So those little 30 minutes out of 24 hours in a day, like the math is ridiculous. Like the pleasure to work, it's a lot. Like the play to work, I guess, more than like.
The only comparison I could think to make would be like in my professional job, right? If I have an employee and I know I don't have to worry about them. It's one less person I don't have to worry about. They got their shit together. They get their work done. It's a non-issue. If I'm a touring band and I got to worry about lining up an opener and I know that, this band, they're going to be punctual. They're going to set up on time. They'll be there for sound check. They'll break their stuff down at speed. They'll be at the next venue and ready to go. That's one less thing I have to worry about. Why wouldn't I take them out?
You got to be easy to work with in this because like you will meet some people that aren't the friendliest because they've ran into bands for so long that aren't this way. Like we try to be a breath of fresh air. Like me and you were talking about with from the music standpoint, we like to be a breath of fresh air that way. But we also like to show up and use the Southern hospitality, I guess, because that's just how Mama raised us all. Like yes, ma'am, no, sir, all that. And so we show up. We know that we're not the big dogs there. Like so we're just trying to build a rapport. And like so if we're ever coming back through Indiana or Nebraska or something, and they're like, hey, these guys are coming through. They were great to work with. That's what you want. You don't want. I don't see how some of these bands out there make it with the personality that they have. Sometimes, like it's weird. I don't like straight dickheads will be out there doing it, and you're just like, how? I know you in real life. Like,
yeah. Well, it sounds like for being a young band, you guys are super humble already, and that's great. So.
That's the only way that we try to be because it's just who we are. Like we get that a lot. Like this one guy was like, he's like, you guys are too nice. You'll cut your own throat that way. And I was like, I'd rather cut my own throat that way than be anything else. I can't. Because like we make music because we love it. The fact that people resonate with, the fact that it resonates with people, that's just a bonus. Because like I'd still be probably making this music, and if we toured by ourselves or something and played to 2 people or no people, whatever. I mean, it's the time of my life. I all my tattoos are music. It runs through me. Like there's one thing I know in this world for sure, and that's probably music. Like that's
to the argument, I think a lot of times these days, and you see this in hardcore a lot, is bands get egos and they're not, like you gotta be respected to have an ego, first of all, in music. Sure. I don't care what anyone says. You got to put in work. You want to have an ego, put in work. Don't have an ego after one record because you toured fucking 3 states and shit.
Yeah.
That's not the way this works, man.
Not at all.
It's like hardcore nowadays, everyone's getting a booking agent. It's like, dude, put in the work, get in the fucking van. You don't need a bus.
Yeah,
No.
don't send me a fucking PR person to talk to. I don't want to talk to your PR. I want to talk to you, right? Unless you're selling out arenas, I don't want to talk to your PR person. Even if it's just an email where you say, hey, we're on tour, we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
It's-
Egos are earned, man.
You got to.
It's like everything else in life, right? Where it's you got to put in the work. I mean, I do white collar stuff, and I've come across employees that come in with this massive ego, and I should have your job, if not your boss's job. It's like, okay, fucking prove it. Put in the work.
Yeah.
Put in the work.
Show me.
You know what? I want to say too, while we're on this while we're talking about this kind of stuff, I was looking through your guys' Facebook, and I was super fucking impressed with the way you guys put your name out there, because it's like you put a post up, someone comments, and then you automatically, here's our Spotify.
Yep.
Like, dude, I never thought about like that when I was a band. Like, hey, man, like, because you got to use social media correctly, because a lot of people just think, oh, I'll post my flyer, 40 people will come. That's not the fucking way it works, man.
Not at all. You have to be.
Mm-mm.
I was talking to another guy recently about this, and it's like nowadays with music, you have to be almost a content creator on top of the band thing. Like, you got to run your TikTok, you got to have that game strong. Your Twitter game,
Yep.
like our Twitter game is terrible, but you gotta be on top of these social medias and stuff like that, because times have changed. And we actually, I'll shout out to Dropout Kings, who's going to be on this upcoming tour with us. We got the idea from them. We noticed that when they post any post that has like 400 or 500, 600 likes or reacts or whatever, they're sitting there and like one of the first comments is their Spotify or their link tree or something. And you have to put that on everything. You post up at like a big thing to do with Facebook. The reason we do Facebook that way is because if you put a link to almost anything, like 99% of other social medias out there, apps, whatever, you put a link to it in Facebook on the post and it is going to the floor. You are not going to see it. It is going to drown you out. So you want to be like, check the comments, and that's when you hit them with a link in there, because apparently the bots haven't caught on to that yet, but I'm sure it'll eventually get shut down too. Everything's pay to play. A lot of pay to play out there.
Yeah. And dude, I was seriously, man, I was super impressed with that stuff, because like I'm just looking through when I was talking to, his name is it Dustin, or how do you say
Dustin, yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know.
Country boy, little Dustin.
Oh, okay, because he had the A in it. I never.
Yeah,
seen
we
it
just call him
like
Sweet
that.
D. That's just the
Oh,
name.
okay. But yeah, because I was talking to him before we set this up, and that's when I started looking through stuff, because I was digging the songs, man. I'm like, yeah, this stuff's really fucking good, dude.
Awesome.
And that's what I said. I noticed in there. I'm like, dude, these guys fucking put in the work on here, man. You don't see that much these days. It's fucking impressive, dude.
We're trying our hardest, man. I'm glad that you see that, because it's like a lot of things that I tell people this a good bit. Music, and like now that I've gotten into streaming and stuff like that, it's a disheartening job sometimes. Like you think you put out this great content. Like there's bands around here, phenomenal groups, put out amazing songs. They put it up on YouTube, think it's going to hit, or TikTok, and they put in work. We've put in work, and it's just, you look at the views on it, 200 views, and you got 1,000 something followers. Like it's disheartening. Like your friends will share, I saw this today. This was disheartening to me. But even though we're nowhere near this caliber whatsoever, but like the Mudvayne tour was announced, everybody on Facebook was sharing it. And I was like, where is this for the local love? Like,
Yeah.
like it's hard to see like one of your friends that like never comes to your show but says they're gonna come, but then they share that and they're like, oh, I'm going here paying $80 and $100 in gas and this and that. And it's like $10, 15 minutes down the street. Where you at? Like, not like I said, I'm not saying we're anywhere near as good as Mudvayne. They've been around for years, and I would never make that statement sober. and so there's so I understand that, but it's a very disheartening thing. I've said disheartening a million times, but
it's a labor of love, right? It's
I'm
a
sure
labor
y'all
of
see it
love.
with y'all doing the podcast and stuff like that, man. Like
Mhm.
you put up something, you make a clip, you put it on TikTok or something, and it just sits there, 50 views or something like that, and it's just.
Yep.
Yeah, me and Jay never talk about this with bands, because I don't ever bring this stuff up, because sometimes it can come off as disrespectful, especially if you know me. I just don't give a fuck, dude.
That's how I do. I fly right off
You know
the
what I
car. I
mean?
don't think before it just comes right out, and I'm like, I don't mean it that way. It sounds a little like I do, but yeah, I understand.
Yeah, like I'm just the type of person, man. I don't sugarcoat shit, but like the amount of bands who just don't fucking share the episodes they're on. It's like, do you not want people to hear your band? Even
Yeah.
if it's an extra 200 people, that's 200 potential people that could buy merch
For
or
sure.
buy stuff or stream.
Yep.
It's
Or listen
fucking
to it and, like,
mind blowing, dude.
it's wild. Like, the only reason I would not share something that, like, I'm tagged in is if I just didn't see it. That's the only way I could say.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
other than that, I'm trying to share everything that I'm a part of, that my friends are a part of. My dudes in Black River Rebels, they're a local band around here. Them and the boys from 7 Year Witch got on a Seven Dust show, and like that's huge. That is mad. That they're coming around here. It's probably already sold out. Tickets went on sale yesterday, and it's probably already gone. But it's like at the Foundry in Greenville, and like we're gonna be out on tour at the moment, and so like we couldn't do it. But like to see my buddies I shared it for them because that's just how it works. I try to mention other bands every chance I get. Like if you look at the videos, you'll notice usually that I'm probably wearing another band's shirt from around here. Like I try to be as supportive as possible because I want them to support me. It's like the golden rule that people don't live
Right.
by anymore.
Right, pay it forward. Pay that
Yes.
shit forward. Tim and I will tell you some of the episodes where we have gotten the biggest reaction, and by reaction meaning a lot of people talking about it, a lot of new followers. It's the two of the old heads that we interviewed.
Yeah.
It was Lance from Down the Sun.
Yeah.
And John from Snot. They reshared our stuff, and then we noticed just follower count, subscriber count went up, and it's like not for nothing. Even if you don't even want to add a comment, just click share or click retweet. Dude,
Yeah.
thank you. Because I appreciate it.
Like
'Cause, I mean,
reaction, do something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing. You see it when you scroll by, hit it with a like. I mean, it's 2023 and they have many different reacts now, but I'll take a like. I'll take anything that I can get out of it, you know?
Yeah.
But like you said, Jordan, I mean, you're building your brand, right? You're doing streaming. Nobody's going to do PR for you but you.
No.
And every little bit of help that you can get, it adds up, right? Pay it forward. If somebody was good to you, be good to somebody else, right?
Guy put up a motivational thing, and he's like, and this stuck with me for the longest time, and it's still to this day. And it's like, no one cares. Keep pushing. Like, and it's the realest thing ever, man. Like, no one cares about this as much as you do. Like, no one cares about your band as much as the 4 guys or 3 guys in it. No one cares about as much as your podcast as even if you've got a PR team and stuff like that and a label and all that, they've got many other people they've got to worry about. Plus, they're trying to make themselves succeed at the same time. And it's very, like I said a minute ago, this is a very selfish thing. You have to be about yourself, but you also have to there's a fine line where you got to you can't cut throats out there. You're going to make enemies real fast with it. So
Yeah,
it's a fine line you got to walk.
People don't see how important networking is these days because, like you said, everybody's just selfish. But it's like, especially in the podcast world, man. Yo, nobody likes anybody.
Dude,
Nobody likes.
The big
You know what I mean?
The big names stick around. Like that.
Yep.
It's just like the people that were already famous before started a podcast, and it's just like let's watch that now. Like it's just
yeah.
It's
they had a name before podcasting, and then they just moved over to it, and it took them with it. Like a lot of people think that my streaming blows up because I'm in a somewhat popular band. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
That's
No
a whole
way.
different angle.
It's a whole different thing, man. People that like
Twitch and
music
streaming
don't
is-
necessarily like games, you know, and
that is a different world, man. That is a terrifying word. All right, so let's swing the conversation towards. Let's talk about your band, Jordan. So you guys are Redefind, Redefind. You're from South Carolina. Everybody should pause the episode, check out "This Is Fine," which is their newest single. It's a fucking monster. So let's start with that. But what I mean, I when I think of influence, I'm like, man, there's so much that there's so much in there that I don't even know. I love the chorus. I love the double bass runs that are so subtle that they don't stomp over the song. Like,
Yeah.
and I think it's in one of the choruses. There's a certain part where there's a couple of double kicks. But yeah, man, this was to me, Tim. I don't know about you. This was a head bobber in the sense of I put it in and I caught myself doing this before I was even knew what I was doing, and then I went, oh, what am I listening to? Yeah, okay, good. Hit this again.
let's
Big
go.
fan.
That's
Yo,
awesome.
look, see, back to me being crazy honest with people. Like, and this isn't like me saying this, like, oh, we're cool, but dude, we get sent so many fucking bands, man. Like, so many people hit. I
can
don't know
imagine.
why they always hit me up though, and they hit
can
me up,
imagine.
and they're like, yo, man, it's my new band. Check it out. And I'm just like, fuck, this is terrible. So
Production
like,
quality and stuff just awful. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, did you record this in a fucking bathroom? Christ, man. But then like, because when Dustin messaged me, I was just like, oh God, here we go again. But he sent me the stuff, and I was like, first of all, this looks great because it's done well. Like you guys have videos. The music. As soon as I turn it on, I'm like, all right, recording's good. It passes the test, but the fucking music's good. And I'm not talking shit on people these days because I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying, like, dude, like, if you're gonna send something to someone, please make sure it sounds good.
Polish it up. It's got to be like that's one thing I pride ourselves on. Like Exodian Studios out of oh, where is it in North Carolina? They'll kill me. It's near Hendersonville. There we go.
Okay.
Or if it's not in Hendersonville, it's near it. But those guys right there, the last 2 albums before this, that's who we go to. Like I couldn't, even if for some reason we blew up, I feel like I would still want to record with these guys. Or
Why
like
not?
if we recorded somewhere else, have it sent to them first so they listen to it and make sure it's all right. Because there's something about Zach. That man's got the gift. And like don't get me wrong, I love we try to sound really good, but like our live show is a complete different thing. But on our tracks, man, he makes us sound big. He's if you listen to anything, I think he's got a SoundCloud where he posts a lot of his like top favorites that he's worked with out of bands and Exodian Studios, and it's the man is a monster. Like I said, he's got his favorites posted up there, and just the stuff, everything that comes out of there. Even if you've seen him live and you're like, ugh, this is tough.
Yeah.
I bet he's made him sound
like $1 million.
I bet. Yep. Yeah, the man's got a gift. Him and Brett are kings at what they do.
Yeah, it also adds to, the likeness where, like, you watch a video, you guys are having fun. It's not fucking you guys just staring at the camera looking tough and fucking playing your inch. You guys are having fun. I mean, it's cool. It's cool to see, man.
One way we get described a lot is like, I remember we did this photo shoot where we did like the Office Space. We were tearing up a printer and like we were doing the Office Space thing. And a lot of bands or a lot of write-ups were like, this band doesn't take themselves too seriously. Like in a good way, they were trying to say it. But it was like, yeah, we don't. Like when it comes to like the pictures or the videos, we'll do, like, we want it to look good, but we're also going to have a good time. People know that about us. Like we're not sticks in the mud. We're not trying to be tough guys, even though, I'm like 280, 6'3". I don't try to be all, tough. It's just not my persona. It's not how I was raised. And so we definitely don't take ourselves too seriously when it comes to stuff. But then like people hear that and they're like, oh, they don't take, but the music, when it comes down to it and you listen to it, it's like, yeah, we try to piece that, it's like I said earlier, it's work. It's mad work that we try.
I would actually think that's a compliment, right? Because the band that I always end up describing as one of the things that makes them so fun is they don't take themselves so seriously is the Black Dahlia Murder. Yes. They always look like they are on stage having a good time.
Yep.
Right. Trevor was always smiling. The band always looked like they were into it. And that's an aggressive type of music. But they always look like they were having fun. And there's something to be said with, there is a space. The bands that get up there and mean mug the entire time. Right. There is definitely a space. The bands who get up and just headbang through a 70-minute set. I get it. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
But there's the contrast is somebody comes out and they're like, one of the examples I can think of is Riley Gale from Power Trip, rest in peace, right? When you used to see Power Trip live, he was smiling and jumping around and having a fucking blast. Yeah. And that's what you remembered is they were playing this aggressive music, but they looked like they were having fun. And why would you want to do something where you don't look like you're having fun?
Yeah, I couldn't. The last show we played, my kid got on the stage and like you could see it. Like I just stared at him the whole time because like he opened up the song for us and stuff. Like it's
awesome.
It might not have been our best show that we ever played, like as far as like people there and the sound quality or anything, but it was my favorite show to this day now, like 100%. It was cool. He like sat there, you could hear him over the mic singing with me and stuff. And then he just proceeded to just like mosh on stage by himself for the whole 4.5 minutes. Like it was awesome to watch, man.
Yeah. So let's go on.
It seems like the work ethic goes through the whole band too, because when I asked Dustin to send over the stuff, like, sometimes you ask people to send an email over and it's like, all right, yeah, I need your Spotify, give me a couple links to some videos, and they send over an email. Yeah, here it is. And it's just like a shitty MP3. I'm like, how am I supposed to work with this? Like, he was legit, dude, sent every fucking thing. Shit I even asked for, he sent.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Covered every ground. Like we tried, like I said, we try our best to do that, man, to be as professional as possible, because a lot of people look at this music thing as not a professional thing. They're like, these kids are out here just wasting their time, chasing the dream that's never going to happen. And it's just like, we want it so bad. We've been through so many bands over the past that didn't work and stuff. And I feel like we have a formula here that just clicks since day one. We've just but like put our heads down and just nose to the grindstone.
But like you said, be
yeah.
easy to work with.
Yes,
Just be
100%.
easy to work with, right? Having a press pack at the go where you click a button. Tim and I, inside baseball, Tim and I cheat with our episodes. We have a whole template of all of our links and all that stuff that we know. We just go in, right click, copy, left click, paste, and then drop it in the show. So this way you don't gotta jump.
Notes in my cell phone. Notes in my cell phone
There
have,
you
have
go.
tons of things that I copy and paste, ready to go.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
A Linktree is also a phenomenal thing to have. One link takes you to everything you could possibly want from that person.
Makes it really easy. So let's take it back, Jordan. When did you guys start? So how did you all meet each other? When did everything start coming together for Redefined?
Dustin and Big Drew, the bassist. We have two Drews, so I will refer to them as Big Drew and Little Drew. But Big Drew and Dustin were in a band. They've been playing together for almost 15 years now together. They were in a band called Xmas, and then they changed that over to Redefined. And what a lot of people don't know is I'm the third vocalist for the band. And it's so they had their first group, and then I want to say 7 years ago, it might be 8 now, Little Drew, the guitarist, came into the picture. And they worked with the vocalist before me, which was Brandon. He's my boy, love him to death. And but he one day I was sitting at home, and I knew them. Okay, I know Little Drew because he is technically my cousin-in-law, because his aunt married my brother, something like that. It's the South, so I just go with it. we So me and Drew have known each other for a while. The only person I didn't know was Big Drew, the bassist. And but I knew Dustin through the scene. And so 3 years ago is when I joined. I saw him put up a post, and it was like, "Hey, Redefine's looking for a vocalist." And I know him. I know Brandon. I messaged Dustin immediately, and I was like, "What happened with Brandon? What's going on? Everything all right?" It blew my mind because they just worked. They were great. And Dustin messaged me back. He's like, "Yeah, he had a motorcycle accident a couple years ago, and I knew about that." And he got back into it, and his just mental state, he was just not, he wasn't the same person after that wreck. It almost killed him. He died on the table 3 times and stuff. And so he just wasn't the same guy. And plus physically, his leg was smashed up, so he couldn't, do the getting on stage up and down and being hype and stuff. He could for a little bit, but it still to this day bothers him. And
Jesus.
so he put that up, and I was like, that's understandable. And I thought about it for a day or two after that, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it, because I had only been doing acoustic stuff. The reason I knew Dustin is because a band I was in called A Mile at Sea had done shows with Redefined, and I even did guest vocals on stage. There's a live video floating around Facebook with me and Brandon before his accident, on stage with Redefined. So it was kind of like a foreshadowing thing almost. And but I thought about it for 2 days. I asked my wife, I was like, is this going to be okay with you? Because these boys want to tour, they want to get out there and they want to make a name for themselves. We want to do this. And I was like, and that's going to take time away from you and my son. And she was like, I can't tell you not to chase your dream, while you still can. And so I messaged him. I was like, can I come try out? And he was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. And a little did I know, in his head already, he was like, yep, that's it. This is our vocalist now. But they gave me a pre-recorded track from what they were working on. And I wrote a song to that. So if you ever listen to the Let's Party album, which was our first one, Spoiled is technically the first song we wrote as a band, because I wrote the lyrics to it, and I, sat here and did it myself. And then I went to the practice and laid it out and learned one of their old songs, I believe. And it's been history ever since, pretty much. So 3 years, going on 4 years this November.
Nice. Yeah, it seems like you guys since then. What's it? It's 2 EPs, and then you did the single now. Is that how much stuff you guys have done now?
Yes. We did 2 EPs. We did a cover song. We did Little Nas X's Montero. and then
Okay.
and this single right here. Yeah, we tried to hit it while it was hot and stuff and all diverse, and everybody was so pissed off about it. So I was like, we got to do this. That'd be great. And so we did that one, and then yeah, this single off this album coming up.
Yeah, I mean it's so I want to ask. Obviously, an influence for you guys has to be Seven Dust. I mean, you guys have all like I hear Seven Dust in so much of your stuff, but I'm not
100%.
complaining. One of my favorite bands still.
100%.
Like just
100%.
the guitar work with the drum work, I'm like that's Seven Dust.
All of us are big fans of that for sure. 100%. We love Seven Dust, Non-Point, old school that isn't even around anymore. Darwin's Waiting Room.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little name drop on them. The old, of course, Limp Bizkit, Korn, stuff like that. I was my biggest influence to new metal, if we're like talking new metal, Limp Bizkit's $3 bills, y'all, was the epitome of just phenomenal. Like, regardless of how Fred Durst is as a person or whatever, because like a lot of people give him shit. Dude, $3 bills, y'all, and everybody always talks about Significant Other or Chocolate Starfish, but $3 bills was cover to cover, just
Mm-hmm. It was
a
amazing.
masterpiece.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm a significant other guy, so
Yeah, I understand that. Hey, I'm not trying to put that down, but when $3 bills, I remember watching, God, what was it? Spring Break on MTV 90.
Yes,
96?
Spring Break 99.
99,
Yes.
99. And they were like on the catwalk and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
like Wes had this white mask on, and that right there was like the first time I saw him and my first introduction to like new metal, I guess. And besides like Korn Got the Life and all that. And I was like, I love this. Like there was just something about it, man. That plays vividly in my head right there.
were the bands before this like new metal influenced, or like were you guys doing like some like hardcore metalcore kind of stuff too?
Redefined has usually been pretty new metal. Like
Okay.
when they were with Brandon, I'd go as far as trap metal. Brandon raps like amazingly. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
He's actually in a rap group now, but with they actually had a DJ at one point, Bobby Lark, and him and Brandon. When Brandon left, Bobby left too, and they do this rap thing, and it's phenomenal. It's like Suicide Boys almost, like Suicide
Okay.
Boys esque, and very hardcore roots, but still like very hype. It's so good. I'm very proud of them and what they do. And
Yeah, the reason I asked about the hardcore metalcore thing is because I know North and South Carolina are huge, especially 10, 15 years ago with the metalcore. The metalcore, like Tribunal Records and all that stuff.
Yep.
oh yeah,
It was huge around there.
was a metalcore band, like the the dueling harmony guitars and stuff like that, breakdowns and
Yeah,
little
like
funny clips right before the breakdown and stuff. Like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I mean,
yeah,
I think
Kill Whitney Dead and He Is
Yep.
Legend and
a lot of
shit like
that.
that.
A
yeah,
lot of
I mean,
that.
I even go back to like was it Catharsis and Undying,
Undying, yeah.
and was it Prayer for Cleansing? All that stuff came all out of that. Really weird how it was all localized into that one point, and yet it's so many massively influential bands all came out of that one.
Oh yes,
know,
we were very
area.
metal driven. Parkway Drive and stuff like that. Our guitarist in that band, he started another band, Midas 22. But the guitarist from A Mile at Sea, he was big in Parkway Drive. Like that was one of his favorite like metalcore groups and stuff. And as August Burns Red, he was a huge August
Mhm.
Burns Red fan.
Who are sneaky huge. I have
Yeah.
come to learn. They are sneaky huge. You would not think that they are as big as they are. And then I see that they're playing these massive venues. It's like, aren't they from like Wilkes-Barre or
only need
something?
to tour like every 3 years or something, man. They just
which is wild.
Yep. They made a name for themselves. I think what really helps them is that Christmas album they did. That showed like just their technicality. I was about to say that completely wrong, but they're spot on. They're extremely talented dudes.
Yeah. Like I said, the North and South Carolina scene, man, it's just that's why I was surprised to hear where you guys were from. I was like, oh shit, okay, here we go.
We're
Getting
probably
some
one of
more
the
stuff
only,
out of there.
there's only like one other new metal band that I can think of from around here, like in the North Carolina, South Carolina. And if anybody listens to this and they think they're new metal around here and I'm not thinking of them, I'm sorry. But like there's this other group called Head Cell, and which is actually an old guitarist and vocalist from Redefine. They're from back in the day, and they started a group called Head Cell, and they're very new metal, but they got like a DJ and stuff. I love their style.
Nice. I'll have to check that out.
Cool. So you guys are going out for 2 weeks with, is it El Nino?
Oh yes.
That is awesome.
Oh, it's a dream come true, man. I remember I remember what was the first one? Reborn or no,
Oh, Revolution.
Revolution. There we go. Revolution and then Confession. So
Yeah.
like the fact that they're doing the Confession 20 year, like, and I get to hear all that and probably the hits from Revolution. I'm stoked about that. And some of their new stuff like that. I heard a song. I hadn't kept up with them, and I went back because I heard they got a new vocalist. Because and what's funny is I heard that because of the internet. We posted up, we're going on tour with them, and people were like, "It's not. It's a cover band now. That's just a cover band."
Oh
I was like,
God.
"Oh my
The
god!"
internet
dude.
people are the
So
worst.
I had to go look it up. I was like, "What do they sound like?" So I looked up their song "Mascara" with him, and close your eyes and tell me that's not Christian
Mhm.
or not El Nino. Like it's still they have the sound still. It's still great music. Like so I'm stoked
Yeah.
about that. I'm really stoked about Dropout Kings being on it too, if we're being honest. Like those dudes look like hella fun and like their
And
music's great.
they another band that put in the work, right?
Mad
They
work.
tour,
Mad respect to those guys.
they have a big social media presence. They're always working.
Huge.
That El Nino album is sneaky good.
Yeah.
Every time I think about that, I think about Tim and I got to interview Jordan Milner from the Breathing Process. Shout out to
Awesome.
Jordan.
Awesome.
And he is a huge fan of that album. And it's like, dude, your music sounds nothing like that, but he is a massive. We need to get him on to do that.
You
Deep
never
dive.
sound like your heroes, it seems like sometimes. Like
Yeah.
No,
because like
no.
I don't listen to a whole bunch of heavy music, you know. Like I if I'm sitting there with headphones in, it's probably like some kind of rap or like acoustic indie like Manchester orchestra style stuff, brand new, like like not even like so it's weird for me because like I can't write songs like that. I can't do it. I've tried to do it like and it just never comes out as good to me. So it's always weird. I'm always in bands that I don't like listen to almost. But like I keep up with it now. I feel like being in the band, I have to keep up with all the new stuff that drops just to give props and love to people and stuff.
But it
I
also
think,
probably
yeah.
prevents your ear being polluted because you don't naturally listen to that stuff. Because I've listened, Tim and I have interviewed people and listened to tons of interviews where somebody will say, "Yeah, but I try not to listen to this because I don't want to show up to the studio with a riff in my head."
Yeah.
And then come to find out that it's because I was listening to the Black Dahlia Murders last album
Yep.
and I lifted the riff subconsciously, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I think
understand that completely.
I think that happens a lot more than you would think with people in bands, like Jay was saying. Like, yeah, I don't even listen to new metal. I listen to fucking trap
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
fucking hip hop, and it's like,
Just so
oh
you don't
shit,
pull the
okay.
influence from it, so you don't steal anything from 'em and stuff like that. Because I remember being in a band one time, and this guy we recorded this like 5-song EP with this metalcore band I was in. This wasn't a Mile See, it's another one after them, and and then come to find out, the whole song was like it's oh god, what's the song? It's called "Freak Gasoline Fight." If you know, it was a big it was a big metalcore band. I can't remember who they were, but "Freak Gasoline Fight" was the name of the song. And my buddy was like, "Go listen to it. Go listen to it and tell me that's not our song till we fall." And I went and checked it out, and like I was like, my mouth was on the floor. Like we even dropped the guy in the band that wrote that song. We dropped him like the next day. We're like, "You got to get out of here." We recorded a whole album, and like we recorded a whole EP, and you completely just
Stole it.
yeah,
Yeah,
It dies today.
It
Yes,
dies today. Yep.
that's them.
Yeah.
It's
So
them. And if you
let me
listen
ask
to
you.
it, that was our song
I'm going to
completely.
ask you a weird question, Jordan.
All right.
What's the last inexplicable earworm you had where you had this song stuck in your head and you're like, I have no idea where this came from. I have no idea why it's in my head. Get out. Why is this here?
This happens so much. It's probably across. Like if we're gonna go with a new song, this one gets stuck in my head way too much. But I would say the Sam Smith "Unholy" song. Oh my
Okay.
God, it is so catchy. And mommy don't know daddy's at the shop. Yeah, that one. But if like here recently, I can't go for that. Hall and Oates. we we yeah we
That's
play
a
a lot
good
of
song,
80s
though. I
radio at
mean,
work, and that one right there just gets in there. I can't go for that. Oh man, it's classic.
Tim, what was the last earworm you had that was kind of weird?
I don't even want to admit this, dude. I don't even know if it's the song title, but you, I think it's because one of the dudes I work with was singing it because he just fucking walks around and sings all day. But you know, he was saying like, is the song called "Oh Sheila" or something?
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh,
Sheila.
Sheila.
That
Oh
was
yeah.
stuck in my head for fucking 4 days, and I'm like, oh my god, how did this happen?
It's always
But
the
I don't
worst
know
one.
who sings it.
It's Prince.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Prince. I will tell you for this 3 days, I've had this song in my head. It is completely bizarre. Do you guys remember, if you're old enough to remember MTV, and when they actually played music videos, do you remember the band Folk Implosion with that song Natural One? It was on the Kids soundtrack. So look up the video after this. It was a side project by two guys that were in the band Sebadoh. And you'll hear the song and go, this is definitely weird alternative 90s stuff that MTV used to play. They did nothing since, but for whatever reason, I woke up with this bass line stuck in my head. And I've listened to it nonstop for 2 days trying to get it out, and it won't go away.
It's just not stopping.
No, it won't go away.
I got to type it in.
Yeah, usually when I listen to it, it goes away. But now I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I have a dentist cleaning tomorrow. I'm gonna be sitting in the chair with that fucking thing in my head. I guarantee it.
Be stuck in there.
She's gonna be cleaning, and I'm gonna be singing Prince in my head.
So you guys you're touring with El Nino, you're touring with Dropout Kings. I did catch you
Were you
mention.
guys just on tour with 9 Point? Sorry to cut you off, Jay.
No, go on.
No. We opened up for them at the Ground Zero show.
Okay. So
we
that
got
was
to
their
open up for them.
tour they were doing. You guys opened or something?
Yeah, they're doing their Emerald City tour, and
okay.
luckily Mick put in a good word and was like, I'll give it. It was only one local was allowed, and the other three were touring bands, so they were like, we're gonna let y'all, and he gave it to us. So it was really cool to do that for sure.
Yeah, dude, Elias is one of the coolest dudes, man.
Man, it was a great energy there all night for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
the whole room.
Yeah, he's super fucking cool. Like he's one of them dudes that's always happy.
Yeah, they seem like really nice dudes. Like we didn't get to speak to them much and stuff because they're working, and but they've put in the work over the years. Like they don't even have a management company. I think they're pretty much self-made now. Like they don't have to. Like I don't think they run with a record company or anything.
No, I think it's his company. Remember, Jay, didn't he say that when we talked to him? I think it's his company.
I think so. Yeah.
Made it to where he's his own boss now. So that's awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
The best boss to have. Yeah, it's the best boss to have is your own boss.
Exactly.
Did I catch a hint, Jordan? You guys have an album coming up? Or you have another release coming up?
April 21st is digitally when we're dropping audio video disco.
Oh, cool.
Perfect.
Is this another EP?
It's another EP. That's all we've been doing is just keeping it real short because the attention span of everyone nowadays.
Perfect.
And, like we haven't done a full length or anything. We should probably at one point, but I think
no need.
Yeah, there's not. You get out there with your top 6 that you got and just run it. And but we did 6 songs on this like the previous, and I think we're gonna set it up. It hasn't been set up yet, but if you pre-order it to buy it or something, there's gonna be a special download of a cover song we did that we haven't, because we can't sell it because then you got to pay royalties and all that. So if you pre-order it or something like that, I believe you get our cover of Halsey's "I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God."
Okay.
Trent Reznor produced her album like that with that song on it, and if you listen to it, you can hear it.
Is that the cover that she's like naked on or something?
It might be. I'm not. No, I think she's like a sitting on a throne.
Yeah.
I think that's the one he did. But yeah, Trent Reznor, produced her album and stuff. And like when I heard that song, and I was like, man, I'm gonna pitch this to the guys and see what they say. But I think we would murder this. And so we, it's already got the kind of industrial sound to it with Trent Reznor's background, and so we made it our own.
I was gonna say, like, is that something that me and Jay should check out that record? Because if Trent did it, I mean, shit, it's probably catchy enough.
I would definitely put that on your to-do list. Is the whole album?
Just run it down.
Was phenomenal. Like he produced the whole thing, and like I said, you can hear the influences, and then it's got her like that raspy kind of voice she's got over it. It's a very well written album.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah,
we did. I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God.
All right, I'm gonna put that in my Apple Music as we're speaking right now.
So to what Tim was saying, I'm convinced that the future is EPs and singles. Like we were talking before we started, Jordan, we had Harvey from Graphic Nature on, and they talked about how before that album dropped, they released almost half of it as singles in an EP. And I think with, like you said, with short attention spans, Sleep Token's doing the same thing. They've released 6 songs. All those 6, probably plus another 5 or 4, will be on the full-length album. And for us fans, that's good enough. It keeps you prescient. It keeps you in front of mind. We know you're working on stuff. And it's just an easy reminder. I am convinced that those, even if you do an LP, it's been trickled out beforehand, because then you're hitting fans with 5 new songs as opposed to 12, and nobody has attention spans for 12 anymore. Myself,
Yeah, they already know the 5 singles off of it. We got the other 5 or 6 on there.
Right. I love this song. This one wasn't so good. Why do I hear the next one? I don't recognize. Fast forward. I mean, it's a win-win-win all the way around.
Real quick, is it if I can't have love, I want power?
I believe that is the album name. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she's sitting on a throne, and for some reason they allow her chest to be. I don't know if that's her, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey, whatever.
They just let it go.
I love how he's nonchalantly just playing fetch. That's fucking great. I love that.
Yeah, my dog is not giving up. he like, I thought he would give up after like the 6th, but it's like number 80, and he's just
oh, dude, we don't mind at all. I think it's
no. We both have dogs. We know how it works.
I had someone shucking clams on a podcast one night.
Doing dishes. You and a guy doing dishes.
Golly.
Yeah, it's been are you doing dishes? Yeah, man. Sorry, the wife is yelling. I want to ask you, Jordan. So you said you stream. What are you streaming? What games are you playing? What are you doing?
I used to do a whole lot of Call of Duty. I'll probably get back into that, but I got hooked on Hogwarts Legacy. I've never been Harry Potter completely. I've seen all the movies and stuff, but like I couldn't tell you the lore or anything, or like who's related to who and stuff. Like I'm not deep into it, but I got hooked on that game for a solid 2-3 weeks now. Like I was streaming that. Like I played 50 hours of it, and I think all of it was on Twitch pretty much. But a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of not multiplayer, battle royale. I'll play any battle royale pretty much. Fortnite, I'll play all those. Like something about the whole drop 100 people on a map and one person survives.
Oh, I probably should be embarrassed how much it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm lying in bed and I can't sleep. And I'm watching like stupid human tricks in Call of Duty where like the guy is looking out the window and doesn't see the guy behind him who kills him like 6 times. Like, it's an inordinate amount of time. You know, the other thing I watch when I can't sleep in, which I really think says a lot about my psyche, Russian dash cam videos that show those accidents.
Oh,
where like the guy's driving along in Russia, then all of a sudden like the thing swoops in and it's like, no, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, man. Whatever.
I can see that. I get stuck on stuff like that, or like Indian dudes building ponds and stuff in the middle of the woods.
Oh, in the dirt. Oh, absolutely. I'll watch 40 minutes of that and be like, just totally enthralled.
Air fryer recipes like TikTok and stuff like that. When they got 30-second videos of they're gonna show me how to make this, and I will like, or the people cleaning rugs. It's the brain.
Yep, I've watched that one.
The sensation of cleaning things off, man. I'm just like, I love this.
I thought I was bad, dude. I just watch people eat large amounts of food, and I'm like, geez,
those mukbang videos. Oh,
yeah, dude.
No,
wait, do you watch what's his name? Nick. What's it?
The dude from Taiwan or something?
I think so. Nick Aterio. His last name, or it's his. Oh man, I wish I could remember.
Like he lives in Taiwan, but he's American.
Yes. I think
I watch him. Yep,
he is huge. But
he just did a Travel Channel show. Yeah, he's big.
Yeah, huge. I man, for a while there, my TikTok and Facebook reels was that one guy that goes around and competitively eats. He's like, he goes to any place that has like a food challenge and he goes there and beats it. It's not
Randy Santel.
Food. It was who is this guy, man?
That's just scary.
Yeah, Randy Santel. Probably.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah,
he's won like
1,000 challenges.
Oh my god. That stuff right there. For some reason I'll watch it. It was a little like 1.5 minute, video. And it's like, I'm gonna go in here and put this 20-ounce steak down or whatever is huge to them.
Fucking 30-inch pizza. They kill it.
I don't know how those people do that, because I can eat a lot and yet I watch some of those things and I'm like, I feel
they literally
sick.
train to do it, like sit there and stretch their stomach by eating so much 2 or 3 days before and then fasting in between there before the stomach starts healing up and just go like it's an extra pocket or something.
Could you imagine eating 100 pieces of sushi?
No way.
No, I'd be throwing up everywhere.
I feel terrible after like 20 or 30, because I can see that being a thing.
Yeah, eventually you just tap out. You know what? My Facebook was feeding me all sorts of weird videos, and I don't know how I ended up with this, but I ended up getting fed a lot of farrier videos. So like the guys that work on horse hooves and cow hooves, and they reshoe
I was on mine got on that not too long
and
ago.
there's got to be something in the algorithm, man. But I am convinced that if the entire world melted down tomorrow and I need to find a new job that had nothing to do with IT, I would do shoe. I
I
would
can
do
shoe these horses.
shoe horses because I've watched enough videos that just give me the knife and the gloves, and I'm pretty sure I can make this work.
Start
But
picking
yeah,
it out.
it's here we are talking about weird YouTube shit. So let me
Yeah.
ask you this, Jordan. As far as local bands and stuff, what are some of the bands that our listeners who may not be familiar with some of the guys coming out of your scene, some of the gals coming out of your scene, some of the bands that new metal or not, who should our listeners be paying attention to?
Around here, I would definitely say let's see, Black River Rebels is a great like rock and roll band. Like they got a great sound. They it's a four-piece. I love all those dudes. They're extremely nice guys. Let's see. I usually have tons of bands to name, and I draw a blank as soon as put on the spot. Um, a War to Win. They're kind of if I had to compare them to a band, I'd say almost like a heavier Breaking Benjamin, something like that. They got a really great sound. Cam is their vocalist, one of the nicest guys in the world. He's actually featured on our newest album coming out. I got him to. We wanted this like choir sounding part. So I knew he's a phenomenal vocalist. So I called him up one night and I was like, "Hey, come over here and let's record some stuff." And he had no clue. So I taught him the chorus to the song, and then we sat there and did almost 30 different harmonies. And like I said, we just got the masters back for this album, and like I went straight to that song to see what he did to it. And it sounds like an old church choir. It's insane. Like it's how the album's gonna fade out and stuff. It's gonna be so award to win
Cool.
because Cam's got one of the best voices in this scene, 100%. I would put that on everything, and they're actually up for best EP. We have this Upstate Music Awards thing going on.
Okay.
The first Sunday in April, and they're up for best EP on that. So I really hope they get it because they deserve it. Those kids have put in mad work, and like I said, I can't speak well enough about Cam's voice. The man's got so much talent.
War to Win. Cool.
War to Win and Black River Rebels for sure. Top twos right now.
Another question I ask every band, and typically they draw blanks like, oh shit, I can't believe you asked me this. If you had a chance to go out and pick not only who's headlining, but who's opening for you. So if you're middle support, whom do you pick to fill those slots?
Oh man. This is actually a band that's not local, but I would also put them on the watch list, and y'all have probably heard of them because these guys put in the work as well. But I would say opening, if not, and if we're not going to open for them, like I'm pretty sure we could switch, But Heartsick out of Michigan, those guys are something else. They've won a lot of Danny Wimmer Productions contests. They got put on a lot of. They're actually they won another contest recently. Blue Ridge. They're playing one of the. They're a local band, unsigned, and they're getting the chance to play one of the main stages
of the Blue Ridge Rock Festival.
They were the ones that won that competition. So if you're into Blue Ridge, look out for Heartsick on the main stage. But like I said, if I was gonna pick an opener, it'd be Heartsick, and then us, and then man,
it doesn't have to be local. Anybody.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like who a headliner band that would a tour that we would really want to do. I think unanimously I would speak for all the guys when I say Non-Point. We would have killed been in Blacktop Mojo or Sumo Psycho shoes on that tour, 100%. Like direct support or even Sumo Psycho spot where it was like them, Blacktop, Non-Point. Just to be on the road with them for a month at a time or however long they're out with them. For sure, Non-Point.
Yeah, I got to check the Heartsick band out, but yeah, the Non-Point, hell yeah, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. If it was like a headlining tour kind of thing, like with a famous band, that I think that would be unanimous pick for sure. Because we already got Head PE, and now we got El Nino under the belt, and or coming up. And if Non-Point and Head PE for me would have been real close, because like Head PE going, like the fact that we got to go out with them still blows my mind to this day. Like I mean, we went out with Texas Hippie, but I didn't know those guys like that, And after touring with them though, the greatest amount. They came through Greenville recently, and we all went up there to see their show, just to show support because we're nothing. We sound nothing like Texas Hippie Coalition, but they are some of the most coolest dudes, man. They're really awesome. But like I said, it blows my mind to this day that we toured with Head PE and like held our own, like made it out there, earned respect with them and stuff like that. Like that was a phenomenal experience for us just to
That's
get
awesome.
that.
Yeah,
It was extremely.
I'm assuming this El Nino tour is going to be just as good, especially with the 20-year thing that they're
Yeah,
doing. So
I'm ready for that. Like we're the thing we're most excited about is we get to play the machine shop in Flint.
oh, nice.
And every band that is every band, like if you know the band, they've probably got a picture in this hallway with all the records up and stuff, and it's at the
Mm-hmm.
machine shop. We want that picture, and that's the main thing we're so excited about is like getting up there to put us on that wall. Like we want that
Right.
picture. It's probably going to be our profile picture immediately. I will put my word on it right now that it's
The, the the picture in the machine shop and the live vid and the chain reaction in California is the two things that every band wants, right?
man.
With the chain reaction in the background,
If
right?
we got out to there, that would be phenomenal. Like we of course we've done a lot of like Midwest with Head PE, and now we're doing East Coast with El Nino. But like I've got friends out there that are just like, y'all come out here, and it's like, man, we would, we we really would. We want to hit Texas and Cali like mainly because Texas is just, I don't know. I've just wanted to see Texas. I've never been through there.
And I mean, you could spend an entire week just playing spots in Texas, a different
Yeah,
one
El
every night. I
Nino.
mean,
If I'm not mistaken, they do a tour of just Texas sometimes. Like if it's not them, it's another Texas based band that just tour Texas. It's like their hometown or their home
I
state
mean,
tour.
Austin, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, and El Paso, right? I
Yeah.
mean, six all, and those are hours in between them,
Yep.
which is it's deceptively large. The West Coast, I think touring the West Coast, I think is probably a little bit more difficult for bands because there's LA and there's the Bay
Yeah.
and there's Sacramento, and then you can go down as far as like San Diego, but there's a giant stretch where there ain't much till you're hitting like Portland.
I can see
And
that. Like
even
the mountains and
Portland,
stuff, the mountains up there.
you go through, and then it's Portland, Seattle. They're close
Yep.
enough that you can go to each other in like an hour or so. So it's like
It's different.
it's very, 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 very spread
I
out.
was surprised that there was so much to do out in the Midwest. Like there was a lot of nothing, but like when you hit the scene, like Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, surprised me to death. I was like, cornfields, tractors, sure. And then we pull up in Omaha, Nebraska, and it's like the biggest city I've ever seen almost. I was like, oh my God. It was a culture shock going there. I couldn't believe it. Because you think, like I said, Nebraska, you think corn and farmers and stuff. And this was like concrete jungle. It was like streets of New York. Like there was one,
Oh, wow.
one of my favorite stories that I tell everybody is we are going to get off the bus, and Brandon, the head PE tour manager, he's the one that sets up everything like on stage for them and all this. Their stagehand comes up to me and stops me as I'm coming off the bus before I even get foot out. He's like, "Hey, you see that water on the ground over there? Don't run your gear through it and don't step in it. It was used to wash away human shit." I was like, "Oh my God." And like we hadn't seen nothing like that. And then he goes, also, and like I was like, okay, cool, thanks, man. And I go to step off. He goes, hold up. He goes, also, there's $1 on the ground floating around somewhere. Don't pick it up. It's got human shit on it as well. And I was just like, and then I look down the street, and literally not even half a football field away, there's a homeless guy in a sunbeam, like a cat, just laid out on the sidewalk. Not even like in the middle of the sidewalk. Like it was a culture shock because, like I said, I thought corn and tractors, and I pulled up and it
Yeah.
was like homeless people, and in the place we played at in the green room was Narcan for it was like, if you want to have a good time, we're not here to tell you not to, but be safe. And I was like,
Wow.
wow. I mean, good on them, but it was just I was blown away. I was like,
I,
there's people ODing out here, and like it was because I live in a town that I don't know, Fountain Inn, South Carolina, 5 to 10,000 people, maybe 15,000 at most. I mean, so it was a whole different world for me. Like it was a whole lot.
I'm amazed by some of the scenes that spring up in some of those Midwest places. Like Tim and I were talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, of all places. They have prom core now in the winter. They have the Act Like You Know festival.
Yep.
It's all hardcore. It's metal. Like
Rocklahoma,
obscure place, but I mean, there's people there that are interested in this stuff. It's like when you hear the bands that talk about when they tour like South America or
yeah,
when they tour Malaysia or Southeast
they go
Asia. They're
nuts for them
like,
down there.
yeah, not for nothing. They don't get bands
No,
that come through. So
the most surprising, Iowa. I mean, you think when I think Iowa, I think Slipknot, and so I don't know why I didn't put that together. But those people show up and show out. I was both our shows in Iowa were absolutely ridiculous. That was cool. Those fans are put in work. Like I got mad love for Iowa. I would love to play back there, anytime. For
I would
sure.
imagine they don't get much. So when
Yeah,
they don't get much,
exactly.
so when they do, it's a thing. Like with the running joke on Lambo, it's like Billings, Montana, or like the stuff in Alaska, where if a band goes up there, they're gonna draw because
Yeah.
nobody comes up there. So it's like, hey, we
Yep.
might as well see this because if they made it all the way up here, who knows when we'll see it again.
I mean, so many people in the UK beg us to come out there, and I'm like, if I had the money, I promise you, I want to be known. I was telling a friend of mine, like, I was like, I've got this weird urge for people in China or Asia or Russia or any. I've got this urge to be known. Like, I just like not for being. I don't know, for being a musician mostly. Like, I don't know why. I just have this urge that I just can't cut off. Like, it's happened at some point, and like it's not because my parents didn't give me enough love or anything. My mom's great, my dad's great. Like it was, I've just got this. I've always wanted to be a performer. I've always wanted people to like me and stuff, or even the people that hate me and stuff. It's always been a constant thing for me. So we would go anywhere we could if money was not the option here, or if we had
No
boots
shit to see the world,
yeah,
right? Like, can you imagine playing like Moscow, playing St. Petersburg, playing Helsinki, playing Stockholm? Well, I would go fucking anywhere that would have me. Right?
We
You
were
want me to
amazed
play?
by the Midwest, like
Yeah, you want me to play like Mali or the Central African Republic? Get me a fucking plane ticket. Make
yeah.
it worth my while. I'll
Go
go.
for it. Yeah, you
Oh
give me
yeah, why
equipment
not?
like that I don't have to take with me, or if you want to cover the charges to send it with me, sure,
Right.
all day. Because like I said, we were blown away driving the Midwest, so I can only imagine other places. Like it was like just completely. It's living the dream, really. Like the driving, a lot of people hate, but I'm for it. I remember pulling out my phone many times, driving down the road, recording stuff, just like this is beautiful. I have to like document this.
Tim, I'm out of questions. What do you got? Anything?
Nah, man, we can kill this.
Okay, so
I know it's
Jordan,
getting late, so
if our listeners want to find you, want to find your band, where do they go?
Everywhere that's possible. Spotify, Pandora, Facebook, Twitter, even though we don't use it a lot because that's on me. I just don't know how to do it that well. YouTube, TikTok. We have a link tree, and it's like linktr.ee/redefined. And you got to spell redefined, Redefind, Redefind, because you imagine if you tried to Google search redefined spelt right, like it would bring you it'd bring you up the meaning of it and stuff. So
Mhm.
but yeah, we spell it wrong. So that's our link tree. It has everything you could possibly want in it. But yeah, we're everywhere.
Awesome.
We're on stuff that we don't even know we're on, I think.
We have an Alibaba page. Just trust me, it's drawing listeners. Just drawing listeners. Awesome.
I think the only thing we don't have is an OnlyFans. I think that's it.
Hey, well, there's probably an opportunity there.
There probably is.
Hey, you guys don't tour anymore? No, we make more than enough money off OnlyFans. It's just us sitting around and talking about bad earworms.
Sitting in bean bags.
All right. So on behalf of Tim and myself and all of our listeners, Jordan, we want to thank you for showing up and giving us your time. On behalf of Jordan, myself, and Tim, we want to thank all of our listeners and watchers for tuning in once again. Find us at newbreed_podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. Find us in the Facebook group. Find us at newbreedpodcast@gmail.com for all your questions, comments, concerns, complaints. And last but not least, you can find us bouncing around r/new metal, where we're definitely insulting somebody at some point. So until next time, this is Jay and Tim and Jordan saying peace.
later.
Much love. Thank you.